Il y a une partie, c'était notre engagement contre le terrorisme depuis 2013. On avait raison.
The African leaders forgot to thank us. It's fine. It'll come with time. Ingratitude, and I know what I am talking about, is a disease that cannot be transmitted to humans. France's President Macron on African leaders.
Vis-à-vis de leurs opinions publiques de le porter, aucun d'entre eux ne serait aujourd'hui avec un pays souverain si l'armée française ne s'était pas déployée dans cette.
Hello, greetings and welcome everyone, dear friends, fellow Africans, brothers and sisters here in the continent, and to those who are in the diaspora. The French President Emmanuel Macron has shown the true color of colonizers after insulting African leadership. Macron said he was waiting a thank you from Africa's nations for the help in the fight against the Muslim militants. But do not be fooled. Now they are saying they chased us from Africa, Macron said. So Macron believes that Africa has to thank France for the help in fight against Muslim militant. But Macron forgot that France developed by African resources and African human capital. So instead of France apologizing to African nation for exploitation and bad things that France did, France is waiting to hear the thanks from African nation. What are we going to thank? To thank for France destroying our countries, thanks for France exploiting our natural resources. So I think Macron must understand and lead the history, what France did to African nations. France engineered several coups in the continent of Africa and assassination of some African leaders. So, but today France wants to get thanks thank you from African nation. This is an insult of highest order from President Macron, and of course, this is how the colonizers are behaving when it comes to the issue of Africa. And of course, Macron went far and said, without France, there would be no Mali, no Burkina Faso, no Niger. So France is the main cause of to having Mali and Niger and also Burkina Faso. But history taught us that Mali Empire was there. We have Mali Empire that was strong even before France coming to Africa. So Macron must go back and lead the history and understand what is Mali Empire and how Mali Empire is so strong at that time. So I think Macron have to go back to school to understand what he's talking about. So what Macron is trying to tell us, the people of Africa, I think we have forgot what France did in Libya with NATO. We know very well that France and NATO members invaded Libya. Up to date, Libya is ungovernable. All of us, we know and we are familiar that France participated in several coups here in the continent of Africa, and some of our leaders were assassinated under the directives of France. So Macron must understand, we, the people of Africa, we know very well the history of this continent, and we know what evil things France did. So if France is waiting our thanks, I think maybe only the mad people can thank France, but we, the people of Africa, the young people who are intelligent, we know the true history of this continent, we cannot thank France. And what we are waiting is reparation from France, and also France has to apologize for what France did to this continent. We know France exploiting our natural resources. France has no any kind of mine in its territory, but France own reserve of gold. France has been using our uranium from Niger to power their industries, but all of these Macron is not saying. So France, before talking about this nonsense, go and apologize to African people, to African nations, for destroying of leadership, for destroying of culture and destroying the system in the continent of Africa. So Macron must go back to school and be taught about the true history of this continent. And one thing that is very important is that our grandfathers have been taken to fight for France during World War II. So all of us, we know very well that maybe today France would have under the control or domination of German. But due to our fathers, our grandfathers who fought for France and helped France to not to be under control of German. So Macron must understand that and must apologize for what France did to this continent. In response to that, Ousmane Sonko, Prime Minister of Senegal, reacted to Emmanuel Macron's comment that the departure of France bases in Africa had been negotiated with the countries concerned. Sonko denied this vision, saying that Senegal's decision was entirely sovereign and not the result of any negotiation with France. And of course, France can say that because we have seen when leader of Senegal came to power, Mr. Diomaye Faye, he was invited to France. And that's why we have been saying we need to be careful with these colonizers and these our colonial masters. They know how to play the games. Also, Mr. Sonko challenged Macron's comment on France's laws in the sovereignty of African countries, saying that France has neither the legitimacy nor the capacity to ensure the security of the continent. Sonko recalled the negative consequences of the French intervention in Libya, which destabilized the Sahel region and highlighted the crucial role of African soldiers during World War II, without whom France would perhaps be under German domination. So you see, France is calling Africans to thank, or African nation to thank for the help to fight against colonialism. I mean, to fight against these militant, Muslim militant. But France forgot that our founding fathers, our grandfathers fought for France during World War II. And if it is not about our soldiers, African soldiers, who went to France to help, France today will be under the domination of Germany. So even France need to thank Africa. You know, my dear kings and queens, as I speak to you now, go and check the national team of France. You find Africans. The national football, France national team of football, you will find that many of them are Africans. People are taken from Africans or African descent. So France have to thank Africa. France win the World Cup through African people. You see, France win World Cup by the energy of Africans, but France is trying to forget that Africans, we are contributing much to their success. So, my dear kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, that is an update from our beautiful continent concerning from what Macron has said. So all in all, that's why we have been insisting that Africans, we need to depend on ourselves. Those who feed us will try to manipulate us and control us. So this time France is saying we need to thank them for the help, but even Africans, we need to ask for forgiveness. France have to apologize to us for what France did for initiating some coups, for exploitation, and doing bad things and evil things here in the continent of Africa. France did evil things in the continent of Africa. So let us go and tell Macron that Macron will go back to school and learn the history that Africans, how Africa helped France not look on only one side of maybe your soldiers come to Sahel to help. And of course, Mr. Sonko has started the issue of Libya. All of us, we know what happened to Libya. Today, Libya is ungovernable because of France and their partner. So France and NATO invaded Libya and destabilized the whole region of Sahel, you see. So they want us to thank for what they did in Libya. They want Africans to thank for what France and NATO did, evil things did in Libya. I think Macron has to apologize for this statement, as well as to apologize for what France did in the continent of Africa. So, my dear kings and queens, up to there, have more to add. I'm waiting to hear your comments, but all in all, we need to come together. These countries in the Sahel that are chasing France military base must come together and unite against France and any kind of imperialist and colonialism from Western powers. And also, we need to join the alliance of Sahel states. Why? Because they have shown the way to fight against France, colonialism, and imperialism. So up to there, kings and queens, ladies and gentlemen, have a nice time. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and also share the video to our brothers and sisters in different parts of this world so that they can have a clear picture and a common understanding on what is going on here in our beautiful continent of Africa. Thank you.